Okay. What's up, gay people on folding chairs? Bow, 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 bow. Welcome. Hey, do you guys like variety? Do you like ours? When the two come together, oh my God. Welcome to the historic Bob Baker Theater. Give it up. Woo! I know, I really thought it was the Bob Barker Theater. I was so excited at the end of the show, I was gonna be like, spay and neuter your pets. If you know that reference, you have no life. Honestly, it's a weird choice for a drag queen to perform in like a marionette theater. Like, how am I gonna seem petite? Why don't I surround myself with performers who are 2 feet tall? And this is a logo event. These are gay people. I was like, I thought gay people preferred no strings attached. Should I leave? I'll leave, thanks. I was backstage and I was just sitting there and it's creepy back there. There's puppets hanging everywhere by little strings. And the guy came over to me and was like, all right, we have no rules at this theater, but no haunted puppets. Okay, bye. And I was like, I was alone with the haunted puppets. It was like a P-flag mom sitting next to these puppets like, honey, are you haunted? Because if you are, you can tell me. Your father and I will accept you if you are haunted. We will march in the haunted puppet parade. I don't know about haunted puppets, but I do look like Annabelle, and I know that. It's not supposed to be that funny, so. No, let's be honest, in a puppet theater like this with my guitar and my lashes, you know I look like Janice from the Muppets. It's kind of hardcore backstage here though because there's no bathroom, so I'm sitting back there and I had to pee so bad. And all the puppets' mouths were closed. Even the ones with mouths open, I was like, you ain't that cute. So how many of you have seen me before? Woo! And how many of you have never seen me before? Woo! You notice I don't have a huge repeat audience. And some of you guys are about to find out why. This show could get quite offensive. This show could get kinda rude. You'll think to yourself, I could be anywhere else, at the movies or eating a food. Audiences get quite defensive when the jokes become kinda crude. You'll turn to your friends, you'll say, when does this end? I hate it. Who is she? And my favorite, Bill. But capitalism is just tapping to the rhythm of the sound of your pocket full of change. I know, I rhyme capitalism with tapping to the rhythm. That's pretty cool. And if that doesn't impress you tonight, I want you to remember this. I've already got your money. I've already got your money. Even all the bees know the price of honey. And I'm just the comb. And if you don't like it, you can go home. Woo. These days, everyone's so sensitive. I'm never sure just what to say. There's no jokes about blacks in my one-woman act about the Mormon, the Jewish, or gay. I can make a gay joke, I have a gay friend. Even if that's not impressive to you, how many fucks am I meant to give when you're already here anyway? I'll say what I want to this motherfucker in the front. Hello? How are you? How much? That's a nice seat in the front. Did you have to get here early? Yeah, that's cool. Hey, I think that's really cool. Was it an expensive seat? It was. How much was it? What's it matter? He's already paid. 'Cause capitalism is just tapping to the rhythm of the sound of your pocket full of change. I've already got your money. What if I sang it like really Blink-182? Like, I've already got your money. My job here's to be funny and occasionally say, oh, honey. Yes, I said it once, and if I don't say it again tonight, remember, I've already got your money. Sing it, Trixie Mattel as... Wow, I've already got RuPaul's money. And if you don't like it, you can go home. Oh. Are you guys ready for some comedy tonight? Okay. Let me get this straight here. Our first comic enjoys Aperol Spritz, staying indoors, and debating the cultural relevance of A Star Is Born. He also co-hosts the weekly queer nostalgia podcast, Throwback Thursday. Give it up for Nasser Samara.
Hey. Does anyone else have an iPhone with an autocorrect that is both racist and homophobic? Just me. Okay, so I'm part Mexican, and the other day I was typing J-A, 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 which is like the Spanish way of saying ha ha ha, and my iPhone suggested jihad. I'm also part Palestinian and was raised Muslim, so you can see how that's just a touch problematic. But that didn't bother me as much as when I typed hi with a lot of I's and my iPhone suggested HIV. I'm glad I don't have to explain why that one was offensive. You clearly saw me walk on stage and said, he's gay! Oh, thank you. You did hear all of those identities correctly, by the way. Palestinian, Mexican, Muslim, and gay. That is very sweet, but that is also all of the things that your Republican relative complains about in one email. Honey, this is America. If we keep letting in the ISIS and the cartel, they're gonna get together, sodomize, and more Nassers will be born. Love, Cheryl. Yeah, truthfully though, there are days I wake up and I don't know what part of me Trump hates the most. It's really kind of a toss-up. I mean, this is a man that's put Mexicans in cages. He's banned Muslims. He doesn't really think Palestine exists and wants all gays to just act like Mike Pence. So you tell me, which one is it? Oh, God. There really isn't anything I would change about myself, though. Like, I was born this way. But sometimes I think about it. I had a dream once where I was straight. Yeah. It wasn't really a dream, it was more of a nightmare. All I was doing was arguing with my girlfriend in public for hours. Yeah, that's a joke for all the straights in the house tonight. Give it up for the straights. They're so brave. Really, where are you? Don't be shy. Come out. Such a cool thing you make us do. No, really, who is straight and in a relationship? Okay, you are. Hi. Stop arguing in public. For all of us. Gay people, gay couples never argue in public. We don't. No, you're not gonna see it. Gay guys in a relationship typically argue about if their relationship should be open to other people or not. And trust me, yes, that is a private conversation. We are not having that conversation over cheese fries at Islands. Gay girls in a relationship never fight in public because they never leave the house. If you're not laughing at that, you're the gay girl that wants to stay in. Oh, I see we have some white men in the house tonight. Hello. Bonjour. Guten Tag. Zdravo. That's hello in Serbian. Don't want to assume where any of you are from. Don't worry, my little coconut flakes. I'm not really into white men. Yeah. The way I see it, you've colonized my land, you will not colonize my body. A few girlfriends of mine, though, all women of color, have been recently getting their toes wet in the white pool. Going whitewater rafting, if you will. And one of them, who is married to a white guy, was telling me that her and her husband, just before getting on a plane, were randomly bumped up to first class. Poof! First class. Naturally, upon hearing this, I was outraged. But then I started thinking, wait a minute. Have I been doing this wrong, like the whole time? If I were to date a white guy, could I occasionally benefit from white privilege? Right? Could my boyfriend maybe say, oh my God, babe, I'll talk to the manager. Honey, the hotel apologized, and look, they've given us a suite. Nasser, don't worry, you're with me. You'll be presumed innocent. You guys, do I need a white savior? No, I don't. It would be nice to get taken off a watch list, though. Yeah, I'm definitely on those. I know because every time I go to the airport, I always get stopped by security. Yeah, it's really messed up. Pretty much every brown person I know hates it. I, however, love it. What? Nasser, racial profiling is really wrong. Yes, Trixie Mattel, yes it is. However, sometimes it can be fun when you're also gay in a toxic masculine society. Here is how. So when I travel, I don't dress like the beautiful model you see before you now. I like to be comfortable. Sweatpants, baggy clothes, Rosie O'Donnell on a good day. And while I'm in line, I try not to talk. I try to act very masculine. I know it's difficult to imagine. And very Muslim. Whatever that means to you. And when I get to the front of the line, that's always when TSA says, excuse me, sir, you've been randomly selected for additional screening. And then that's when I do my best Queer Eye Jonathan Van Ness impression, and I say, what? Me? Oh, yes, additional screening. Oh, choke me, spank me, pat me down. I walk right through. See, guys? Oh, together we can make racial profiling fun again. Oh. It's my kind of activism. Oh, speaking of that, I canceled my Equinox membership. Oh, thank you. I'm fine. It was the easiest decision I've ever had to make. I was so angry when I found out where my money was going. But I was worried they weren't gonna let me out of my contract. So I figured, like, what's the best way to do this? So I figured I'd write a bunch of emails, put my anthropology and women's studies degrees to really good use, get real sassy. But there was a bit of a back and forth, which then I started to realize, oh my God, these emails might not work. Like, you need to come up with a backup plan. So one thing about me is I'm really bad in confrontation. I always don't say the right thing or forget to say the right thing. And I had to basically make a speech. Like, what would I say in the heat of this moment? But it ended up being more of a dialogue. Like, if Equinox says this, what are you gonna say? If they say that, what are you gonna respond with? Well, as it turns out, the emails worked, and I didn't get to do this big speech that I had planned. And I have to say, I was a little disappointed because I thought this could have been a really good lesson for me in my self-confidence, standing up for myself. So if I can, I'd like to read to you what I was going to say to Equinox. Is that all right? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Upon further reflection, When I reread what I wrote, it was very clear that I was heavily inspired by Joan Crawford. But not just Joan Crawford, Faye Dunaway as Joan Crawford in the 1981 classic Mommy Dearest. So I think what would be an even better lesson for me is if I read this to you as me, as Faye Dunaway, as Joan Crawford, telling Equinox why they should let me out of my contract. But there wasn't enough in the budget for me to have someone be the reader of Mr. Equinox, so I'll have to do both roles. Fade in. Hello, I see you called this meeting to get out of your contract. Well, sir, I'm sorry. Please! This is no time for pleasantries. I have recently discovered I am lining the pocketbooks of bigots! Well, Stephen Ross is nothing more of a passive investor. Passive investor! Passive investor. More like a passive top, fucking me, my morals, and my money. And I have some news for you. What kind of news, Nasser? That's Mrs. Samara to you, you fool! I guess it's time to tell you about my little friends. Male friends. Male friends who may or may not have been sucking my dick in the steam room for the past 6 months! And if I were locked in my contract, this type of behavior may have to continue. You do realize that is illegal. Don't fuck with me, fellas! This ain't my first time at the rodeo. I've also come in your eucalyptus towels multiple times. Thank you so much!
One more time for Nasser, everybody. Woo! Okay, so you may have, I know, no guitar, thank God. You may have seen the next comic on Take My Wife on Stars and Viceland. Please welcome Irene Tu.
Hey, I'm Irene, I'm a girl. Gotta clear that up right away. I know some of you are like, is that a teenage Asian boy on stage? Nope, just a lesbian. But sometimes I feel like both, you know? Like, I did skateboard here, so. Could go either way. I am gay and I look like this, so people come up to me and be like, hey, if I'm into your look, does that make me gay? If you're a girl, yes, that makes you gay. And if you're a guy, that also makes you gay. You know, like, just got that twinkle about me. I was put on earth to make everyone gay, so it's fun. I get a toaster every time. I hate going to public bathrooms, though, because I never know which one I should go into. And I think I should just start going to the men's room because no one would say anything to me. But I don't want people to think that I'm pooping all the time. You know? Yeah, it's weird to take 30-second long poops, okay? So usually I go to the ladies' room, which I like better anyways. It smells nice, it's clean. But whenever I go in there, a lady will always look at me and then look at the bathroom sign, very confused, and then look back at me and point to the bathroom sign and go, "This is the women's bathroom." Yeah, as if I can't read drawings. Right, like we all saw the little triangle. Like, that's a skirt, I know, okay? Like, I've worn a triangle before, you know? One time I wore a triangle, and I was like, I don't like triangles. So, yeah, now I just wear 2 rectangles. But that lady was always looking at me like she's expecting something, so I think the next time it happens, just gonna like pull my tampon out and give it to her, you know? Like, is this what you wanted? Are you the bathroom bridge troll? So, gotta pay your tampon to pee, I didn't know. And I flew up here a few days ago. I hate flying because every time I fly, I have to go through security, right? You know, where you pose for 3 seconds of that full body scanner. It tells you if you're a terrorist or not. And when you go through the machine, the agent actually has to pick your gender. And since I look like me, he always picks male, right? And then I go through the machine, and then he's like, fuck, we got to do it again. And I'm like, what do you mean we have to do it again, right? Like, you messed up. I feel like you just have to do it again, right? Even if I was carrying a bomb, just let me keep it, okay? Like, that's good customer service. So they make me go through the machine twice. I'm getting cancer twice as fast, which is fun. But sometimes when I go through that first time, they'll need to pat me down for some reason. I don't know, my pants are always linty, and they're like, that's dangerous. So some guy will start patting me down, and I don't say anything because it's 9 in the morning. I'm tired. Also, it does nothing for me. So he'll start patting me down, and at right about here, you can just see the color drain from his face. He's like, oh my God, this might be sexual harassment. And that just makes my day, you know? Like, he thinks I'm gonna sue him. I'm not. But you don't know that. So just walk away and a wave and a wink. It's fun. It's like a little game I like to play. Because I just imagine him going home to his wife later. He's sweating profusely, trying not to cry because he's a man. And then his wife's like, what's wrong? He's like, I don't know, that Asian girl boy really freaked me out. So it's fun. I hope I'm not tripping over any words. It's hard because I got Invisalign recently. I don't know if you can tell. They're clear braces. Yeah, I got them to fix my teeth so you can't see them. What they don't tell you, the lisp, not invisible. So, yeah, just have a little bit of a lisp now. And the worst part is when I got the Invisalign, I accidentally told my orthodontist I did comedy. Right? Usually I lie because I don't want to talk about this. So when people are like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I'm in marketing. Because no one cares when you're in marketing. So it's boring. So I said I did comedy, and she's like, oh, that's so cool. You should tell jokes about Invisalign. I'll give you free teeth whitening. So here I am. I guess I'm in marketing now. I don't know. Comedy's not paid that well, okay? But my teeth are gonna be so white, you know? It's worth it. Worth it. I'm single. Okay. I don't know if anyone else in here is single and happy about it. Yeah. But you're wrong. Right. It sucks, honestly, right? It's like, why am I alive? I'm kidding. But am I? It's really bad. I have too much free time now, honestly. I don't know what to do. Like, you know when you're dating someone, you're like, I don't have time to hang out with my friends. I have a person, right? And then when you're alone, you're like, I think 24 hours is too many hours in a day. Honestly, there should just be 12, okay? 8 hours to sleep, 4 hours to eat. Like, that's plenty. I don't need the other 12 hours. Like right now, I'm just learning how to juggle. Yeah, for no reason. Okay, just killing time. No one needs to learn how to juggle. And then my friend heard about this and he's like, oh, why don't you just go volunteer or something? And I was like, oh, nah. Like I'd rather juggle, okay? Why would I help someone right now? I'm sad. I want to be the needy one. I do know it's very ironic. I said that joke in a puppet theater, okay? Yep. Puppets are great. Juggling, not great. But anyways, I'm not dating right now because I went on 2 dates kind of recently and I was like, I'd rather die alone. It's horrible. Have you guys gone on dates? They're very bad, okay? Because I had never have anything in common with the other person. We're just eating in silence for 3 hours. I order a lot of food. And at the end of the date, we just stare at each other like, which one of us pays? Right? Because we don't know, okay? When it's a guy and a girl, the guy's supposed to pay, right? When it's the two of us, I'm just like, does the haircut pay? Like, I don't know. It seems heteronormative. So maybe you should pay. You've got long hair, you know, like for feminism. And then she doesn't want to pay either. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just leave, you know? Like, Fuck it. They'll just give it to some dude at the restaurant. Seems fair to me. I don't know. But I just can't talk to any more ladies right now because every time I talk to some lady, she'll tell me I have very nice skin. Yeah, that sounds like you're gonna murder me. And wear my face as a mask, okay? And that's creepy. I don't know why you would say that to me. And then one lady was like, no, I mean, you're very clear skin. You don't have a lot of wrinkles or acne. I'm like, okay. And she's like, what's your secret? I'm like, I don't know. I wash my face? Like, are you disgusting? There's no secret. Yeah, and then I thought about it some more. I'm like, okay, fine. I wash my face. I don't wear makeup. And I've never done drugs before. You know, like, I'm pretty sure it's just that last part, you know? Yeah, like, this is the face of innocence, you know? Like, this is what it looks like when the DARE program works, you know? Just flawless, not a care in the world. I feel like I should tell you guys that I do eat meat, though, because everyone assumes I'm vegan for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what it is about me. Like, I don't know if it's because I look gay or frail. But people are always like, yeah, that girl has dietary restrictions. For sure. It's like, I'm also Asian, okay? Like, we eat all of the meats, okay? Like, when my mom and I make chicken soup, we drive to Chinatown. We pick a chicken that's still alive. We're like, that one's the fattest. They kill it before our eyes. We don't even pray. And then we bring it home, we cook it for 4 hours, and I eat the entire chicken, including the eyes, the beak, and the brain. Okay, like, I know how to eat meat, you know? My friend was like, oh, that's gross. I'm like, okay, what's really gross? Or like, you eat chicken nuggets, like, that's gross, right? Like, I ate 2 eyeballs. You ate 500 assholes, okay? Pretty sure that's worse. I just feel like if you're gonna kill a living being and eat it, you just can't eat a leg and a breast, throw the rest of it away. That animal was alive, right? Like, if we got to that point of cannibalism, which we will, and we had to eat each other, you had to eat me, and you only ate my leg, like, I'd be so pissed, right? I'm like, hello, I don't read all those Shakespeare books for nothing. Like, eat my brain, you know? Go for it. It's good for you. I have a lot of friends that are vegan, though, because they're lesbians. Yeah, that's just what happens. We care a lot about everything. And they'll bring me to their favorite vegan restaurant. I'll eat it. You know, I'm like, edible sponge. Yum. So tasty. But I refuse to eat vegan cheese ever again. I had it one time. It's disgusting. I will never eat it again, right? It's like if regular cheese had diarrhea, and then you eat it, and then you also have diarrhea. Okay, it's like, why is it so goopy? All right. I know some of you are probably vegan in here. It's fine if you are. It's good for the planet, right? I just feel like only white people should be vegan. Just the belief that I have, you know. Yeah, because I have a lot of cultural food that I want to preserve. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years. And white people, you guys have less of that. Also, you killed a lot of people, so I just feel like it's only fair. You know, it's like a little trade-off. Like, colonialism for flavor. Like, that seems 1 for 1. And if you didn't laugh at that, you're the problem. So, all right, thank you guys so much. I've been Irene Tu.
Give it up for Irene Tu. No joke, the first thing I said to her was, you have such beautiful skin. So that's embarrassing. Okay, from her Hulu special, Don't Look at Me, and historical roast, please welcome Robin Tran.
How's it going, everyone? Good to see you all here. Someone's laughing already. That's good. I have to get this off my chest, guys. The past couple of years, people have been really shitty and judgmental about my transition from a comedian to a blogger. And it's 2019, guys, you know? Come on. No, my name is Robin Tran, and I am transgender, and that is a coincidence. I always have to say that. Someone always thinks that I transitioned for one pun, and that's not why I did it. The best thing about coming out as transgender actually is that people have been so thrown off by this that they've totally forgotten to be racist. So, it's the best thing that's happened so far. I'm just kidding, guys. They never forget. All right. I get asked a lot of shitty questions about my transition. I get asked a lot about the surgery. People want to know if I'm going to get the surgery or not. I'm so sick of people asking me if I'm going to get the surgery. Because look, I don't know what you think I have underneath my dress, but I'll tell you what I don't have is $100,000. So that's a perfect joke. It's so good. All right. One thing I don't like about being transgender is people want me to be like some kind of hero for the cause. They want me to be brave. I don't want to be any of that shit. I just want to be a shitty transgender woman. That's it. That's my goal in life. I just want to be a piece of shit transgender woman. I want to be a transgender woman who starts shit for no reason. Walk into a store and be like, excuse me, but why doesn't your women's restroom have any urinals? You know, just really... shitty transgender woman. Kind of think Caitlyn Jenner beat me to it. My favorite thing about Caitlyn Jenner is after her transition, watching conservatives and liberals playing hot potato over who was responsible for her. Because she's such a terrible person, you know? Conservatives came out like, hey, that ain't no woman. That's a man in a dress, and his name is Bruce, and you libtards are ruining this country. And liberals came out like, hey, her name is not Bruce. Her name is Caitlyn, and she is a Republican, and she belongs to you. Don't pawn that bitch off when that's what don't. She belongs to you people. Did you guys know that she got into a car accident and someone died? Did you guys know about that? Don't be excited about it. Holy shit. This is a weird crowd. Yeah, I'm woke, I know. So not only are we both transgender, but we're both terrible drivers. So that joke never gets a laugh in LA. Because you guys aren't as racist as Orange County, where I wrote that joke. And now you're clapping for yourselves. That's very LA. That's it's very Los Angeles of you all. No, actually, I'll tell you the truth. I really am afraid of driving, especially around here. I don't like being the first car at a red light right turn. You guys know what I'm talking about? I hate being the first car at a red light right turn. It's too much fucking pressure, all right? There's so much going on. Cars coming this way, pedestrians going that way, cars behind you honking. You could have gone, you fucking pussy. You could have gone right there, you fucking pussy. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So you know what I do now? I pretend I'm gonna go straight, and when a light turns green, then I turn right at the last minute. I'm just like, oh, my car forgot something over here. Yeah, that's... So dumb. I'm so dumb, though. This is how dumb I am. My driving fear doesn't even make any sense. The higher the freeway number is, the more scared I get. I don't even know what that means. I don't know why. But one time I'm on the 805 on my way to San Diego, and I'm like, oh my God, this is almost 1,000. This is like driving on hard mode, man. This is fucked up. I came out to my mom a couple years ago, and that was really, really hard, you know? I'm sorry, I mean emotionally it was hard, but I mean more logistically, because she doesn't speak any English, and I don't really speak Vietnamese. So it was just like literally logistically difficult to come out to my mom, you know? Like we're sitting in the car, and one day I just go, Mom, in Vietnam, do they have people born boy, brain girl? And she goes, what? Born boy, brain girl. And she goes, okay, I don't know. Sometime? I go, okay, me, that. And she goes, no. I go, yes, Mom. She goes, no, you not girl, you boy. And I'm like, Mom, boy, girl. And she goes, no, you boy, you lucky, because boy is good and girl is bad. And I go, why? And she goes, I don't know. This is going on for like 45 minutes. Born boy, brain girl, we're just yelling at each other. I get through to her a little bit. She goes, okay, I understand, but to me, I still see you as boy. And I go, okay, Mom, you see me as boy. I sad, I kill myself. And she goes, oh, you girl. I'm like, yes, Mom, exactly. I'm girl, yeah. Man, I hope no one steals that joke. The next Asian transgender comedian is just gonna... Some people going, aw, I don't like that. It's very condescending. All right, whatever. Oh, okay, so I came out as a woman 4 years ago, and I gotta be honest with you. Oh, yeah, thank you. I gotta be honest with you guys. Being a girl fucking sucks, and I shouldn't have done it. Went from being a chubby dude to a fat bitch overnight. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... How is that fair, you know? I'm balding, which is a bummer, you know? I'm balding. It's a fucking dude problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good for a trans woman's self-esteem to have male pattern baldness. You know what I mean? It's not a... I didn't even know I was balding. One day I'm in bed with my girlfriend and I'm like, honey, I don't know what I should talk about on stage. She goes, you talk about how you're balding. I'm like, well, that was quick, honey. Like, I don't... How long have you been waiting to sit on that one, you know? Like, holy shit. Some people get surprised that I have a girlfriend because I look like a giant baby that found a dress, you know? But, more awes, that's great. I'm really glad I have a girlfriend, you know? I was really bad at being single. I listen to my friends complain, like, they complain about, like, online dating. You know, they'd be like, oh, man, I was on OkCupid. I went on 4 dates, the girls were weird and dumb. And I'm like, wait, hold on, slow down. You got messages back on OkCupid? You went on 4 dates? Let me tell you something. I was on OkCupid for 3 years. And in 3 years, I got 2 messages. They were sent on May 13th. They were from the website itself, wishing me a happy birthday. So, I'm also really glad I have a girlfriend because I was like single for like way too long, you know, like 7 years. I didn't like hold hands with a woman. I didn't kiss a woman. So like I became like a creepier person over time, you know what I mean? And then the porn that I watched got increasingly harder to defend, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, I'm on page 12 now. What the fuck am I doing? This is awful. I start talking out loud to my porn like a psychopath. No one's around. I'm just like, yeah, fuck her, like by myself in my room, you know? And the creepiest thing I ever said out loud while watching porn was, don't look at me, I'm not gonna help you. So, and that's when you all turn on me. That's a good place. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but you know. So, Donald Trump is president for now, as of this taping. Who fucking knows what's gonna happen? But I was really bummed out by the 2016 election. You know, I'm not making this up. I actually called the suicide hotline. That's how bummed out I was. I called a suicide hotline, and a guy goes, "This is Brian. How can I help you?" And I go, "Well, Brian, I'm really depressed about this election." And Brian goes, "Tell me about it." I'm like, "What?" He just goes, "Yeah, it's really fucked up, man. I don't fucking know what to do, you know?" And I'm like, "Well, Brian, I'm calling for help. Like, is there anything you can say to cheer me up?" And he goes, "Oh, all right, well, progress isn't a straight line, you know. I don't know. Maybe one day when we're all dead, you know, things will be better, you know. I don't know." I'm like, "Brian, are you okay?" He goes, "Thanks for asking, Robin. Ever since the election, our call volumes have gone up by like 300%. I'm losing my fucking mind here." I'm like, "Well, I hope you feel better, Brian." And I hung up on him. So because of Trump, now we have to have a suicide hotline for suicide hotline operators. So that's, all right, everyone, that's my time. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night. Thank you.
Yes, one more time for Robin Tran. Woo! Seen on Comedy Central, Netflix, and MTV, a 2009 Just for Laughs new face, and writer for NBC's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's Dewayne Perkins.
Hey, what up, hoes? How y'all doing? My name is Dewayne Perkins. Next month will make my 1 year of living in Los Angeles. So thank you. It has truly been just okay. You know, there's ups and downs, but it is significantly better than where I lived before. I lived in New York City, and New York City is a bad place full of bad people. But I do have great memories there, and I learned so much there. I learned pretty early on living there that because I'm a pretty safe-looking black man, that strangers love talking to me. And I was talking to this one woman on the subway, just having small talk. She asked me, where is I from? I was like, oh, originally I'm from the south side of Chicago. And then she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, well, damn, bitch, you got strong opinions. And then she leaned in very close and she asked, have you ever been shot? And I was like, oh. Okay, first of all, have you no couth, white devil? We just met. Where are your boundaries? How would you feel if I asked, where are your lips? And also, no, I have not been shot. And I think that's a very shitty stereotype that perpetuates the idea that Chicago is this ultra-violent place. So I want to say right now in front of all of you that yes, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, and I've never been shot. Thank you so much, I'm a hero. Thank you. I have been shot at, but they missed every time. I am a fucking gazelle. My feelings about Chicago are pretty unique. Because like as a black man, I love Chicago so much. But as a gay man, it can't suck a bag of dicks and die. It could burn to the ground again. It's a little history joke because Chicago did burn to the ground. Yes, it did. And it's funny because I think Chicago is like one of the reasons why I'm as gay as I am. Like, was I born gay? Sure. I came out of my mother's vagina and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? And then the doctor smacked my ass and I was like, okay, okay, Zaddy, let's see where this goes. I realized that I was gay at a pretty young age, but also realized that within the environments that I was in, that they said that it was not okay to be gay. So I was in the closet for quite a bit of time. And I remember the exact moment my gayness was like solidified. I was 17, I was dating this girl named Raven. I hope she's not here. And it was the day that I lost my virginity. We finna get real personal. We went to her grandparents' house because we're edgy. And we took off our clothes. We put on some music. I asked her if it could be Celine Dion. She said no. And then I started to smash that cat. And I was like, this is fine. This is fine. It was going well. She was looking at me. I was looking at a picture of her father. And then she was like, hey. And I was like, what's up, girl? Because that's how I talked when I was straight. What's up, girl? And she was like, go down on me. And I was like, for sure, love a challenge. So I go down there and ladies, hey, it's complex down there. I was young, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just started experimenting. So I slapped it a little bit, blew inside of it, counted the rings to see how old it was. And she was like, no, silly, use your tongue. And I was like, oh my God, thank you for the tip. And I proceeded to place my tongue somewhere I can only describe as textually unsettling. It had the texture of like a flan or like a really soft mango that's been through a lot. But it tastes like a bag of nickels. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm gay. Oh, yeah, I am a homosexual. But I was still in the closet then, so I couldn't tell her that. So I was just like, I am so full, I can't have another bite. Then I never did. But weird thing, surprisingly, that relationship went on for about another 6 months after that. Because I had to keep up appearances, because at the time I was a thug. I feel like you didn't laugh because you didn't believe me. But it's true, I was a thug, I still am. I still got it. This white woman, gonna call the cops. But I bet you wouldn't look at me and think that the first time that I got arrested was in 3rd grade. And it was by the fashion police because I wore a turtleneck with a vest over it. That's disgusting. No, it was by the real cops. I tried to murder someone. You can laugh about it because I'm talking to you, so clearly I did not succeed. But in 3rd grade, I was getting bullied pretty heavily. And one day I came home and was like, you know what? This bully has to perish. And because I'm like unique, unlike my thug counterparts who use guns, I was like, no, I need something more theatrical. So I brought 3-foot garden shears to school. Because in my mind, I was like, when I stab him, I want people to think, oh, he's crazy. But he gardens, he's also cultured. My image was important to me. So I took them to school. Clearly, they were like, what the fuck are these garden shears? I got tackled and arrested. But I was a very small little gay angel baby. So the handcuffs kept falling off. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so tiny. And then, like, truly, nothing really happened. My school was just like, yo, Dewayne, that was a lot. And I was like, you're right, that's on me, my bad. Now that I've seen, I won't do it again. They did send me to therapy, and that gave me a pretty badass reputation. So when I went to high school, gang season was lit. I got so many offers. I remember I was walking down the hall, and a group of guys came up, and they were like, hey, do you want to be in a gang? And I was like, sure, why not? I love a challenge. So I auditioned, got a call back, and I booked it. Thank you. So I was talking to my straight friend. I have one, that's how you know I'm not heterophobic. And we were talking about fantasies, and I asked him what was his greatest fantasy. And he was like, ooh, 19 bitches, 37 vaginas, 100 titties. And I was like, first of all, that's not how women work. And he was like, well, fine. What's your fantasy? And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for asking. I've been thinking about this forever. So we opened up on a dance floor. I'm in a dance battle against Roseanne Barr and Rosie O'Donnell. They lose, because I'm so good at dancing, obviously. They get mad, fuse together to create a super Rosie. We battle again. I lose, die from embarrassment, go to heaven. I meet Jesus, there's tension. We don't talk about it. I'm sitting at a bar. He walks up, and I'm like, oh my God, hi. He's like, hi. And I'm like, what's up, Jesus? He's like, hi. And then he was like, hey, can you do me a favor? And I'm like, anything for you, Jesus. Yeah. And then he leans in close, and he starts to whisper in my ear. And I'm like, stop, that's my spot. You crazy, Jesus, stop. That tickles. And then he's like, hey, I want you to be the second coming. And I'm like, yeah, it's coming. And then we flash down to Earth. It's the rapture. It's like raining frogs and shit, everybody dying. And everybody's like, oh my God, where's Jesus? Where is Jesus? Then they look up to the sky and the clouds part. And I come floating down like, huh. I'm wearing a poncho made out of hopes and dreams and a halo that's just a big cock ring. And the white people are like, what? Jesus is black? Now the homophobes are like, what? Jesus is gay? And I'm like, yes, you getting left behind. You getting left behind. And you can get this holy dick. And then my straight friend was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, you asked me what my greatest fantasy was. And he was like, and that's your greatest fantasy? And I was like, did you want something simpler? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I want my student loans paid off and for my prostate to stay stimulated. He was like, go back to the Jesus thing. And I was like, you're right. I don't think I got the light yet, so I'm gonna tell one more joke. I feel like every homosexual has a coming out story, and I wanna share mine with you so that I can leave with something personal. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and like I said earlier, being in those environments, I knew that if I came out, I risked losing people that were close to me. But at that point in my life, I was like, you know what, so be it. I was 17, I had 4 sisters and 2 parents. My goal was to come out to them. I was too afraid to tell my sisters in person, so I just sent them a group text. And all it said was, hey guys, I'm gay. And one of them wrote back, yeah, that makes sense. And I wrote back, what is that supposed to mean? And she wrote back, you wear a lot of cowboy boots in the summer. And I wrote back, I just like the sound of clacking. Then I wrote, okay, I see what you mean. But I was so mad because I was expecting them to abandon me. I was gonna use that trauma to create art in the future. And they deprived me of that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come out to my mother because she's crazy Christian. Again, I was too afraid to tell her in person, so I wrote her a letter and I went to school. I'm sitting in class and I get a text message from her. And all it says is, I wouldn't care if you were a green alien. I will love you no matter what. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Huh? Because I was going to use what terrible thing she said as the prologue to my memoir. So I go home because I know she has something else to say because she's a sneaky bitch. And I go home. She calls me into the bathroom. She's sitting on the toilet. We have a close relationship. And I sit on the edge of the tub. She looks me in the eyes and she says, I love you, but you know you're going to hell, right? And I replied, you're divorced, so are you. Then we looked at each other for a very long time. She took a deep breath and she said, you got me there. And I was like, yes, I did. I'm so quick and sassy, the gay comes quick. And I was like, dope. I am an out homosexual man. This is dope. I got my first boyfriend. My nephew had a birthday party that summer. I brought my boyfriend to the party to normalize it all. It was really dope. And then on my way home, I got a text message from my father. And he was like, who was that guy? And I was like, that was my boyfriend. And he was like, you're gay, ? And I replied, oh my God, I forgot to tell you. And then he replied, no joke, this is exactly what he said. It's okay, just don't get AIDS. And I replied, yeah, you neither. And then he replied, you got me there. And I was like, yes, I did. Okay, is that the light? Okay, I got the light. Okay, so this is gonna be my very last joke. It's very short, great. Okay, how long have you been giving me that? Ooh, I am on another planet. Okay, so I've been in a long distance relationship, which is just like a normal relationship, but like better, because you're not with the person. So I've found a new love for masturbation. It's really dope. It's like sex, but like you're by yourself. And to make it fun, I started to like buy like more toys and stuff. And I bought a fleshlight. You guys know what a fleshlight is. It's like a cylinder with like some soft stuff inside. And the one that I bought on one end was a mouth, and on the other end was a vagina. And once I bought it, I like opened it up and I was like, oh shit. I was afraid to use the part with the vagina because I was like, what if it feels good and it makes me straight? So I didn't use it. I just was using the mouth part. And then a couple of days ago, I was like, what the fuck? I got high and I was like, why not? Long story short, I am bisexual now. Thank you so much. I'm Dewayne Perkins.
All right, one more time for Dewayne Perkins. Welcome. Those chairs were saved just for you. Everyone else is on time. So I think that's really cool. Listen, honestly, it's hard for me to commit to comedy anymore because as a comedian, I'm supposed to be relatable. But over the last few years, I've had such a meteoric rise to fame and fortune. It's hard for me to relate to anybody but the rich people. You guys in the front, the rich people here, this is about us. The poor people in the back, mama, I don't know them. The cast of Les Mis in the middle of the house, no. You can see those poor people back there, they have like dirt on their faces. They're like, there is a castle on a cloud. If you guys could see the rich people in the front, these people, they have like furs. They're like, boo. But I wrote this song to relate to you guys. The rich people. Hey, rich people. Beautiful rich people. Don't you hate it when you double park your boat? Whoa. Hey, rich people. Beautiful rich people. Don't you hate it when you spill the blood of the poor on your fur coat? You got more money, you've got more problems. You can't use a $100 bill as a condom. Hey, rich people, just you guys, rich people. Don't you hate it when your ring turns your finger green? I'm just kidding, that doesn't happen to us. Rich. Do you hear? That's what being rich sounds like. It's like, hey, rich people, I know you feel me, rich people. Don't you hate it when the hooker turns out to be 17? It's like, I'm pretty sure I paid for 16. Wow, that really spoke to you. You got more money and things go wrong. The only way to relate is through a song. Hey, rich people, just you guys in the front. Rich people, don't you hate it when the valet smokes in your car and you have to throw the whole thing away? And have him killed. Hey, rich people, I know you feel me, rich people. Don't you hate it when it's New Year's Eve in West Hollywood and you're with Betsy Johnson and Johnny Weir and Pamela Anderson? And all of a sudden, Pamela Anderson says, let's go to Vegas. And you go, Pamela, we haven't even packed. And she pulls out her Visa card and says, we're packed. 2 days later, you step out of a taxi in front of the Bellagio Hotel wearing nothing but flip-flops. And the hooker you order passes away. And you have to change your name to Trixie Mattel. You got more money and things get harder. Just ask a celebrity like me or Jennifer Garner. Whoa, 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 rich people. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you guys have a wonderful time tonight? Yeah! Did you guys have a wonderful time? Say whoop whoop. Wonderful time. Say yes, gaga. All right, so it's the end of the program. Thank you to the house for having us tonight. Thank you to Logo, and thank you to you guys. And I'm Trixie Mattel. Good night.